are set to go with our first weigh-in. It's 4 rounds in the featherweight division. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 7 victories, 5 defeats, 1 draw. He has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Please welcome El Galán Javi, Luis Javier Valdez. Valdez. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is a highly decorated amateur ace, 17-time national champion, 2-time amateur world champion. Saturday night, making his much anticipated professional debut, fighting out of Fresno, California. Introducing Mark Castro. Castro. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Luis Javier Valdez. 128.8 pounds, 128.8 for Valdez. Now coming to the scale for the very first time as a professional, Mark Castro. 130.6 pounds for Mark Castro. 130.6 for Mark Castro. Castro v. Valdez, 4 rounds, featherweight, San Antonio, Texas.
All right, we are joined here by Mark Castro. And Mark, it's been a long road to this pro debut. You had your first fight canceled back in the spring, a couple more cancellations along the way. How are you feeling going into this one?
I feel excited. I'm positive. The whole 2020, I was remaining positive, and I'm just ready to get this out of the way.
A lot of people have seen you in the amateurs, as I mentioned, a decorated amateur. How would you describe your fighting style?
I feel like in the amateurs, I throw a lot of punches, but in the pros, you got to control yourself. You need to sit down on your punches, and I feel like you're going to see a new Mark Castro.
You know, we've seen a lot of young fighters, you know, fighting big fights relatively quickly, whether it is Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia. You're obviously just getting started, but when you see those guys who are, you know, just 21, 22 years old fighting for world titles, what do you think about that?
I feel like this generation is a unique one. We're not scared of nobody. We want the big challenges, and we want them quickly.
Well, good luck on Saturday, Mark.
Thank you.
Let's go back up to Dave Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're set to go with our next bout of the evening. 6 rounds in the middleweight division. Now making his way to the stage. Professional record, 9 victories against 3 defeats. He has 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Detroit, Michigan, please welcome Isaiah Swift Hands Jones. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record thus far perfect. 6 fights. 6 victories, 5 of them coming by way of knockout. Here is the tough and dangerous young prospect fighting out of Houston, Texas, Austin Ammo Williams. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Isaiah Swift Hands Jones. 157 pounds for Isaiah Jones. And now making his way to the stage, the undefeated Austin Ammo Williams. 159.4 pounds for Austin Ammo Williams. Williams v. Jones, 6 rounds, middleweights. Matchroom Boxing and Canelo Promotions.
We joined momentarily by Ammo Williams, one of the better young prospects in all of boxing, with his San Antonio Spurs t-shirt on. Ammo, you are from Houston, but you're back in Texas. Do you have the extra juice fighting in your home state?
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing fighting here. I'm happy to fight at sea level once again. It was tough at Mexico City, but I'm just excited. It's always a great crowd, great electricity when I come back to my city and my state to fight.
Now, what was that experience like? You've mentioned that a couple of times, the difficulties of fighting so high above sea level down in Mexico. What do you take away from that?
I took away from that I can pace however I need to pace. If I need to take it slow, I can take it slow. If I can bring up the pace and, put a lot of pressure on my opponent, I can do that as well. So I just learned the differences between altitudes.
A lot of guys have had difficulties getting fights in 2020. It's the pandemic, but you're going to fight for the 3rd time this year. What's this year been like for you?
The 10-month stint when I was off was very tough, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. But we stayed strong. We always found something to get better at in the gym. I got to thank my coach because he always allowed me to go to the gym and work out with him, even though it was risky. And we just continued to get better through the quarantine.
You're about to enter year 3 of your professional boxing career. What's different about you from when you first started?
I think that I have become a lot more seasoned, not just through my fights, but in the gym. We take risk in sparring. I've been in a ring with so many world champions, and not just once or twice, but through camps. I traveled around the world to get good sparring, and we just always push for more through the fights and through the sparring. So I'm just elevating pretty quick.
Now, you mentioned that good sparring. One of those sparring partners, the guy at the top of the bill, Callum Smith, who's going to face Canelo Alvarez. Tell me about that experience.
It was an amazing experience. I got to feel the European style. He has an amazing jab. I was able to actually have a great sparring session that time because it was his first day back, so he was just getting loose. But I had a great sparring session. I was able to get in the inside and control the sparring session. I think that if he can keep Canelo off of him in this fight, he'll have a big chance. But if he allows him to get on the inside, it'll be a tough night for him.
So play analyst for me for a second for your post-fight career. Handicap this matchup. I mean, Callum Smith has a 7-inch reach advantage. Yeah. How does he keep Canelo Alvarez off him?
The only way that he'll be able to keep Canelo Alvarez off of him is to establish his power and establish his power early. If Canelo gets hit by a couple of his shots, his jabs and his straights, and they're clean and they don't affect him, it's going to be a tough night for Callum Smith because Canelo has the confidence and knows that he's taking the shots from the biggest punchers in the sport like Triple G. And when a fighter like him, who's a predator, who comes to stalk and things like that, if he feels like you can't hurt him, then it's going to be a terrible night for Callum. But if Callum can establish his jab as a deadly punch and his straight as a deadly punch, then I think that he'll make Canelo second guess coming in, and they can keep the fight on the outside a bit more, which would play to the advantage of Callum Smith.
See, I think you got a future as an analyst there, Ammo. But first, good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to show what I can do. I feel like I got a lot to prove, and I'm excited. I've been in this position before in my life where I feel like I got a lot to prove, and it's my time to shine.
You got it. Let's go back up to Dave Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues. Our next contest to weigh in, Southpaw versus Southpaw in an 8-round featherweight affair. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 15 victories against 7 defeats. He has 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He's fighting out of Dallas, Texas, El Lobo, Juan, the Wolf, Antonio Lopez. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, also a southpaw. He is undefeated as a professional thus far, 7 fights, 7 victories, 3 of them coming by way of knockout. He's the 2018 USA National Golden Glove champion, fighting out of Camden, New Jersey, Raymond Savage Ford. now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Juan Antonio Lopez. 129.2. 129.2 for El Lobo, Juan Antonio Lopez. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Raymond Savage Ford. 128.6. 128.6 for Raymond Savage Ford. Ford v. Lopez, 8 rounds, featherweight, Saturday night, San Antonio, Texas.
All right, we are joined now by Raymond Ford, fighting the undercard of Canelo Smith on Saturday. Ray, it feels like we just saw you like a month ago. Yeah. How do you feel about this quick turnaround?
I feel great about it. It's a big opportunity for me, and I'm ready to showcase my skills again.
You picked up a knockout in your last fight against Rafael Reyes. I was coming off a decision win over the summer. How did you feel about that last performance?
I mean, it was a great performance. It was a good performance. I could have done a lot of great other things in that fight. Like establish my jab a little bit more, do a little more feints. But it was a good performance, and this one we're going to step it up a notch again.
So you're going to step it up a notch, but how quickly or how recently did you find out you were going to have this fight?
About 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Were you in training? Were you still working towards it?
I was in camp with Shakur. I wasn't in my camp, but I was there helping him get ready for his fight, sparring him, and so. And he's a southpaw as well, so that kind of prepared me for this guy because he's a southpaw. So,
you know, we just talked to Mo Williams about his experience training and sparring with Callum Smith, working with a guy like Shakur Stevenson, a skilled fighter, a world champion. What do you take away from that?
I take away a lot of great things. He's a real smart fighter in there, got a great IQ. I got a great IQ, so we both testing our IQs and our skills, and is making both of us better and step up to another level.
A lot of eyeballs on a fight like this because it is Canelo Alvarez. What are you hoping to show on this night?
Just to show who Ray Savage is. Explosive, speed, the skills, slickness, defense, everything. I'm a different type of fighter, and I want to show that. I'm going to show that Saturday night.
Looking forward to it, Ray. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go back up to Dave Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support for Saturday night's big night of boxing action, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing and Canelo Promotions, and this bout is in association with Warriors Boxing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBO NABO Heavyweight Championship. Introducing up first to the stage, the challenger. His professional record, 14 victories against 2 defeats. He has 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Please welcome Julian Fernandez. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, undefeated as a professional, 16 wins, no losses, 1 no contest. He has 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Guantanamo, Cuba, he is the WBC Continental Americas champion and the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO NABO heavyweight champion, Frank, the Cuban Flash, Sanchez. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Julian Fernandez. 209.2 pounds for the challenger, 209.2 for Fernandez. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the undefeated Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez. £229, 229 for Frank Sanchez. Sanchez v. Fernandez, 10 rounds for the WBO NABO Heavyweight Championship.
We're joined now by Frank Sanchez, rising heavyweight contender. Speak to us through an interpreter. Frank, you just fought about a month and a half ago, picking up a knockout win over Brian Howard. Why did you want to come back so quickly?
Ganaste hace poquito por knockout con Brian Wynn. ¿Por qué quieres regresar tan rápidamente?
Pues llegué a regresar rápidamente porque sé que tengo la posibilidad en esta cartelera de seguir mi carrera adelante y nada, y estoy listo para enfrentar grandes cosas.
I came back quickly because I know that I have the possibility to be on this card. So, I have to come back and, confront and do the things that I have to do.
You're part of Team Canelo, training with Eddie Reynoso. What improvements has he made with you?
Eres parte del equipo de Team Canelo con Eddie Reynoso. ¿Qué mejoras ha hecho él con usted?
No, he mejorado mucho en la parte boxística y nada, me siento bien en el team y avanzando poco a poco.
I've had, in my boxing abilities, I've just improved a lot. I'm part of the team, and I've just improved little by little.
You're starting to make a name for yourself in the heavyweight division. That knockout win over Howard was really impressive. What do you hope is in store for you in 2021?
Empezó con la división y el knockout de Howard fue muy impresionante. ¿Qué veo para usted en el 2021?
No, veo grandes cosas. Nada más es seguir echándoles ganas y mantenerme activo.
I see great things. Just continue, giving it my best and stay active.
All right, you're a heavyweight, but you sparred with Canelo for this training camp. What was it like as a heavyweight to spar with Canelo?
Eres peso completo. Hiciste sparring con Canelo como peso completo. ¿Cómo fue para usted la experiencia de sparring con Canelo?
Buena experiencia y así me enseña muchas cosas y nada, me va avanzando en mi carrera y me va apoyando también.
It was a good experience. It was a good experience that helps me a lot with my profession and also all the support.
Well, Frank, we appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday.
Frank, se lo agradecemos y suerte el sábado.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else